Wonderful things are especially wonderful the first time they happen. Then the wonderfulness fades. Psychologists call this habituation. Economists call it declining marginal utility. Why do we always want more? Let us look closer. You chase the next bright thing. You buy the new car. You move to the new city. You think the change will bring back the fire. For a short moment, it does. The air feels crisp. The colors look sharp. But soon the colors fade. The shiny surface becomes dull. The new house just becomes the place where you sleep. You feel empty again. You wonder if you made the wrong choice. But here is where most people get it wrong. You think the magic is in the object. You think the joy is hidden in the new possession. It is not. The magic was always in your mind. Look out the window. Your perceptions are portraits, not photographs. When you look at the trees or the sky, you are not seeing a perfect copy of the world. The image reveals the hand of the artist every bit as much as the things portrayed. Your brain is the artist. There is a deep and quiet contract inside you. The brain has agreed to believe what the eye sees, but in return, the eye has agreed to look for exactly what the brain wants. You are trapped in a loop. You only find what you are already looking for. If you look for boredom, the eye will fetch it. If you look for lack, the eye will find it. Just breathe. Feel the weight of your body in the chair. Listen to the faint hum of the room. The world is just existing. It does not ask you to judge it. When you try to picture your life next year, your mind does a magic trick. Your memory uses a fill-in trick to bridge the gaps of the past. But your imagination is entirely a fill-in trick. When we imagine future circumstances, we fill in details that will not really come to pass. And worse, we leave out the details that will. You imagine the perfect vacation. You see the blue water. You feel the warm sand. But your brain leaves out the delayed flight. It leaves out the lost luggage. It leaves out the heavy argument in the hotel room. You build a fantasy that cannot survive the real world. We are blind to our own blindness. If the past is a wall with some holes, the future is a hole with no walls. You stare into that giant empty space and your brain paints a frantic picture. You think you are seeing a prophecy. You are just looking at your own hopes and fears projected onto a blank canvas. You exhaust yourself trying to turn the portrait into a photograph. You demand perfection from a world that is inherently messy. When the real world does not match the perfect picture in your head, you feel cheated. You feel like life is unfair. You blame your partner. You blame your job. You blame yourself. Stop fighting the canvas. The sun is setting. The shadows are growing long on the floor. The light is turning a soft gold. Notice the dust dancing in the golden light. It is imperfect. It is beautiful. You look at the people around you. You see their smiling faces in pictures. You see their new cars and their big houses. You wonder if they have found the secret. You wonder if their happiness is brighter than yours. But here is where most people get it wrong. You are trying to measure something that cannot be measured. You may think yellow is a color, but it is not. It is a psychological state. It is what human beings with working visual apparatus experience when their eyes are struck by light. Yellow only exists in your mind. Happiness is exactly the same. It is a quiet state. It is an internal weather that belongs only to you. When you try to explain your exact joy to someone else, the words fall short. The musician Frank Zappa is reputed to have said that writing about music is like dancing about architecture. Trying to measure and compare your happiness is just as foolish. You cannot weigh a feeling. You cannot put joy on a scale. Yet we spend our days looking over the fence. We suffer because we think someone else has a better version of yellow. Stop looking at the neighbors. Drop the heavy scale. Listen to the rain tapping against the glass. Feel the warmth of the cup in your hands. This is your yellow. It does not need to look like anyone else. The word experience comes from the ancient Latin word meaning to try. The word aware comes from the Greek word meaning to see. Experience implies participation in an event. Awareness implies observation of an event. Stop being a simple observer of your own life. Stop standing on the outside looking in. When you constantly judge your present moment against an imagined perfect future, you pull yourself out of the experience. You become a ghost in your own home. We cannot do without reality, and we cannot do without illusion. Each serves a purpose. Each imposes a limit on the influence of the other. Our experience of the world is the artful compromise that these tough competitors negotiate. Your imagination is a wonderful gift. It helps you build bridges and plant seeds, but it is a terrible place to live. Let the illusion guide you, but do not let it blind you. When the new house becomes just a house, do not panic. The fading of the magic is not a failure. It is just the mind settling into the truth of the present. You walk down the same street every day. The trees lose their leaves. The winter turns the branches bare. You stop looking at them because they are familiar. But if you stop right now and look closely, you will see the rough texture of the bark. You will see the quiet strength of the roots. The wonder is still there. It never left. You just stopped paying attention. Wake the artist up. We spend so much time building tomorrows that we forget how to live today. You cannot fix the blind spots in your imagination. Your brain will always fill in the missing pieces with its own fears and desires. It will always leave out the truth. The future will always be a hole with no walls, but you do not have to fall into the hole. When you catch yourself painting a perfect picture of next year, gently put the brush down. Come back to the room. Feel the air moving across your face. Listen to the steady rhythm of your own heart. This is the only place where life is actually happening. Remember the waning wonder. Wonderful things are especially wonderful the first time they happen. Then the wonderfulness fades. We call it habituation. We call it marriage. But the fading of the thrill is not a tragedy. It is an invitation. It is an invitation to look deeper. When the shiny surface becomes dull, you are finally free to see the quiet beauty underneath. You are finally free to see the world as it is, not as your brain wants it to be. Do not look for new things to make you happy. Look at the old things with new eyes. The yellow in your mind is yours alone. Keep it safe. Keep it quiet. Let the world be imperfect. It is the only world we have. If you found a moment of peace today, leave a quiet comment below. Subscribe to this space. We will find our way back to the present together.